Aziz. Shalom. Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum salam. So I don't know, some of you may, I don't know, I'm talking like a whole bunch of people watching this, but anyway, whoever's watching, I imagine you may know who this is. You see the name down there? Jesse the Body Ventura. Yeah. You see, this guy, I could give him credit for waking a good portion of a lot of us up, waking us up to conspiracy, to the idea of conspiracies and all that good stuff. Back in Blind 11, when the whole setup happened, their setup, building 7 falls 7 hours later. I think that was the first awakening. Well, actually, no, I'm speaking to, and I don't mean to say that. I take that back. The first awakening. That was a massive awakening for a lot of people. Some people stayed asleep, and actually, I'm gonna have to say now, a very small amount of us woke up, and I don't mean that arrogantly. I'm clearly going in a different direction than the rest, and that's fine. I guess it has to be, because I can't accept. I won't accept it. I'm not. They're trampling on my God-given rights. You can't tell a man to put on a Daffy Duck protective cover. You can't do that. I'm not going to get into the politics of it or the Constitution part of it all and all that nonsense. Man just doesn't have a right to do that to the next man, and nor does a government. Anyway, back in Blind 11, I gotta be careful. I mean, I happened to be working for a blood center at the time, and it was right after it. I had to go to, got trained, medical training for, phlebotomy. And with the combination of Blind 11, and working at that job happening, I work for a big phlebotomist company here in New York, huge. I mean, they might as well be the Red Cross, but it wasn't the Red Cross I worked for. And what I didn't like, one of the reasons why I quit that job, I quit it. I was roughly making about, I must have been making about 52,000 at the time, plus a year. I'd been working there for 4 years. It was a good job, a good pay. No, it was a good pay. Union job. Wretched though. Union people are just, ugh. I don't like being around them, that whole situation, and I learned a lot from that. But as far as the blood, the people donating blood, somewhere along the line, someone came up with the idea that, well, not the idea, but it's a scientific fact, I guess, I assume, even though most people coming in didn't look any better to me. But they say that when you give a pint of blood, it's good for your body to regenerate new blood, because it'll make your hair stronger, it'll make your skin look nicer and all that stuff. And they always point the way towards something physical you get out of it, something that was what they cleverly painted for the people, and I guess people latched onto it, especially the women. And I'm not bashing women, but I mean, it is what it is. I'm telling it as it is. I'm not bashing women, or I'm not bashing anybody. I'm telling this as it is. So please don't anybody get mad at me for saying what I'm about to say. But what I found was that a good portion of the women were coming in to give blood just so that they could have better skin, and they would make these comments all the time. All the time, you'd hear it over and over and over again. I want to get blood because I want better skin, and oh my God, yo, it was crazy, and I got sick of it, hearing it. I couldn't. It was disgusting. And finally, what it came down for me was that this beautiful Spanish woman came in one time to give blood. Oh man, it was crazy. She was fine as anything, but she was also very egotistical, very, very, you could see she was very controlling. And what happened literally was that she came in, and I was sitting there waiting, and she came in and she said, I'm here to get blood. You're gonna take the blood out of my, she literally was like yelling at me almost for me to take her blood. I couldn't understand this. Like, she was pissed off about something, and she's about to give blood. And that was just the last straw for me. I just said, I threw the bag on the bed, and I said, take it yourself. And I left, and 2 months later, I was in Egypt. Literally. I gave up my apartment. I left everything in the apartment. Not everything. I left I had a $7,000 stereo. I had everything. I had a 2-bedroom apartment. Whatever, I was living in Harlem. I mean, it was, I was living up to what I was making. Anyway, the point is, it just made me sick, and I knew there was something wrong with 9/11, with Blind 11. I knew there was something wrong with that. I couldn't put it together, but I just knew there was something wrong. And mind you, I didn't learn later on till maybe almost 2 years later, after Blind 11, that it was an inside, and it was bomba clot. They got all the proof, visual proof that it was manipulation, CGI. It's all there. Even a television show showing it beforehand. I mean, come on. Anyway, the point is, no point, actually. I gotta stop saying that. I just got sick of it, and I had to leave. I left. And I went to Egypt first, and then I ended up in India. And that began a whole year of just waking up. I just thought I was escaping America and this madness. And I got over into Egypt, and into India, and just phenomena happened over and over and over again that just woke me up to other ideas, it just woke me up. That's all I'm gonna say. I'll leave it there. Point is, this man, Jesse Ventura, on top of Ron Paul, taught about the system and what it's doing, and about its government, and that we should be more aware of this, and ask more questions, and stop being so relaxed about things, and just get up. The Constitution actually almost tells you you're supposed to, you have to, it's your duty, it's your constitutional duty. And what's interesting about this, why I'm pointing this video out, because I'm going to show you what he's going to say, because this is 9 years ago. This is actually 2011. This was recorded. And what he's saying now in this little excerpt that I'm going to show you is actually it reflects what's happening even this very moment. And he's dead now. I don't know what's going on with Ron Paul. I'm surprised Ron Paul ain't saying a whole lot. But Ron Paul taught about the monetary system. He's taught about the IRS and other things, and about debt and how it's really working, and how they're just printing up money and it has no value. I mean, that's how I learned about the monetary system, through Ron Paul. And then with the combination of Jesse Ventura at the time saying, yo, wake up, you guys gotta look at this, you gotta look at that. I just happened to be one of the ones that listened, and I took it seriously. And now, at the time, that conspiracy stuff then was pointing to the way now, saying, yo, beware, there's something coming. Look at the rights that were taken away from us from 9/11. I mean, look at what happened. They could search your bag, they could do it, and now you gotta wear a Daffy Duck protector. Deep. That's deep. So they're telling you we could search you and you gotta wear. That's what they're telling you. And how much further is that gonna go now? They're gonna tell you gotta take a VACSIN. Yeah, I know I spelled it wrong. I mean, it's deep. It's gonna happen. How many are gonna fight? I don't know. Probably none. I don't know. Whatever. I don't know. I'm gonna be brave. But listen to what this guy says. I'm gonna play a few minutes of it. Just hear it out, because just today I was on the train. I was called an asshole. I thought that was funny, because I'm like, wow, these people really believe. Believe means you don't know. They believe that there is something in the air that withstands 12 hours. It floats around for 12 hours and somehow gets you. Oh my God. And now you got to watch what you say on your video. I mean, don't get me wrong. YouTube is a private site. Technically, they have the right to say what they want and what they don't want being shown. But YouTube was supposed to reflect people's opinions. And look, now we got to speak in codes. This video may not even get played. That's what's crazy about it. Well, it doesn't matter. It's not like someone said it had to be played, but whoever's listening, you have ears, you'll hear what I'm saying. But listen to what Mr. Ventura has to say. Oh, and this is check it out. This is the title. See, it talks at Google or whatever. And he's promoting his book at this time. But hear what he says. You should watch this. This is very interesting.
And it stretched it too thin to a string. Because as I went through these documents and looked at the behavior of my country, it was appalling. It was shocking that we are involved in the things that we've been involved in over the last 50 years. In fact, I got chastised for bringing up a word that I find ironic. I guess you're not supposed to use.
See, he's talking about he's getting chastised because there's a word they're not supposed to use, and this is not even on. This is just a public thing in a book or of some kind, and he can't say it on TV apparently or whatever. But he's gonna say it right now. And again, it's probably gonna be one of those things. Then again, this video is on, so I don't know. I don't know what I got. My thing got turned off for the other day, but either somebody made a complaint or it's because I said the Daffy Duck protection thing a little too much. I don't know. Algorithms, I don't know. Anyway, sorry to interrupt, but let me just push it back a second. All right.
That's why the book was difficult, because this book tried my patriotism and it stretched it too thin to a string. Because as I went through these documents and looked at the behavior of my country, it was appalling. It was shocking that we are involved in the things that we've been involved in over the last 50 years. In fact, I got chastised for bringing up a word that I find ironic. I guess you're not supposed to use. When you read this, and what bothered me, but I'll use it, I tell it like it is, where we at. I believe in many instances in this book you can substitute the word Nazi and it works. There's behavior in this book that is as you'd expect it from the Nazis.
Telling us we have to put on Daffy Duck protectors or you get fined or is damn near close to Nazism. That's kind of what was going on in the whole Germany thing. I mean, think about it. It was said to me that would you give the keys of your house to a stranger? I mean, think about this. Would you give the keys of your house or even your car to a stranger, I mean, logically, I would think no. Most people are going to say no. Same goes for a Daffy Duck cure. I mean, would you trust strangers to make this up than to give it to you? And mind you, they're not even liable if they kill you. They're not even liable. So you do realize these are strangers making up these VACSIN. They're strangers, and we're allowing them to madness, man, madness.
But it isn't the Nazis, it's us.
Facts.
It's our country. Now, people say, what, documents are secret. What right do, who's got the damn cell phone? Shut that off. This is, consider this a green and a golf course. Oh, that's a hard line. Okay, I stand corrected. Anyway.
You don't like cell phones.
These documents are appalling, and our behavior has been appalling in reading these documents of the things that my country has done. And yet, in most cases, no one has ever been prosecuted. No one has ever been tried for any of the stuff in the book. And that troubles me. Now, let me move forward quickly to WikiLeaks for a moment, if I can. I think WikiLeaks is a hero because of the fact that last year, in 1 year, our country declared top secret 16 million documents. 16 million documents that you and I are not allowed to see in 1 year. I had to figure that must be just about everything they do. Just about. Maybe, I don't know how many documents they would have. But I find it interesting that when I was in the military as a Navy SEAL, I had a top secret security clearance. It was required. And I've been a mayor and I've been a governor. Now I'm neither. I'm a citizen. At what point do I lose my top secret security clearance? How am I any different today than I was before when it comes to security? And yet, because I become a civilian or a citizen, now I'm not allowed to know things that I could know as a governor, that I could know as a SEAL. Yet I'm the same person. But I guess being a civilian puts you at the bottom of the food chain, or a citizen of knowledge. And I think it's wrong. Now, the thing that you'll see in the book, that I dedicated the book to Congressman Ron Paul.
See, Ron Paul.
And I did that because he was the only person in our Congress when WikiLeaks happened that stepped out on the floor of Congress and gave what I thought one of the greatest speeches I had heard, when he stated unequivocally that WikiLeaks has killed no one. How many people have been killed from the lies, the false intelligence, and the deception we got to put us into the Iraq War? Also, the fact that I think what he said that was extremely important was that in a free country like ours, when telling the truth, people accuse you of being a traitor or treason. When the truth equals treason in a free society, then we're hurting. When telling the truth means people accuse you of being a traitor,
facts.
The truth is what it is.
Facts.
The truth is the truth. When I ran for governor, I never used a prepared speech for anything to win, because I ran under the premise of, if you tell the truth, you don't have to have a good memory.
Facts. 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 You ain't got to remember because you told the truth. Facts. Yeah, that was one of the things I learned when I was in India. Just tell the truth, man, and you become so much lighter. You ain't got to think about it. It hurts sometimes, but you gotta. You just gotta let it go. And you know what? They will never tell us the truth, that this is a HOAX. They will never. So I was called an asshole today. And you know what? It was an elderly white man, and I just kind of laughed at him. I called him an asshole back, but I didn't get too loud with him. Don't worry. I don't want to be a bully. I didn't want anybody to see me as that, so I didn't get loud with him or anything like that. But I did call him an asshole right back. But you see that? That's divide and conquer right there. That old man believes to know that there is something going on in the air, that, and I'm one of the causes of it. Now, maybe because I'm an ethnic man is what, I don't know what he may have really saw and what he's calling me an asshole totally for, but it's also a form of racism now again. It'll get worse. It'll get worse. You'll see. Can't wait for my own people to start doing it. It hasn't really happened yet, but it's gonna. You'll see. Inshallah, I'm wrong, but it just has to be. Yeah. Jesse Ventura, Ron Paul. Ron Paul ran against Obama, and yeah, you know, nobody could say I'm a racist, because I would have, if I ever had to put my name on a ballot, I probably would have put it on for Ron Paul, because Ron Paul he wasn't a Democrat or a Republican. He was what democracy is supposed to be. And it's not because he's white or it's not because he's black. He's just a man who represented that, and he did it well. And on top of that, this guy was at the same time very prominent in his voice. So I don't know, you know, I thought, like I said, I've been put down for watching too many conspiracy videos, and there was a time, but I see how it paid off now. I see it, I get it. And it's very few of us who are really putting it together like this. Very, very few. And that's dangerous. But okay. I was called an asshole. That's beautiful, man. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. Anyway, may peace be upon all. Everyone have a good night. Say your prayers. Yeah.